On July 4th, 2016, Kevin Durant officially announced his decision to sign with the Golden State Warriors, and I said that the NBA was ruined. At least for the next several years, because of course, Golden State was already coming off a 73-9 season, and now they were adding one of the best players in the NBA. But now we have drama. Because on Tuesday, November 12th, in a game against the Clippers, with less than 5 minutes left, the Warriors were down by 11 and then did what the Warriors always do and proceeded to tie the game when this happened. We're going to dive deeper into this game in a moment, but for now, let's just pay attention as Draymond Green grabs the rebound, and here we have Kevin Durant obviously calling for the ball. KD would not get the ball, Draymond would turn it over, and the game would go to overtime. At first glance, this doesn't look like anything crazy, but as we all know, when walking off the court and sitting on the bench while waiting for overtime, Durant and Draymond got into it. This has led to several questions, such as, what is going on with the Warriors? Is their team chemistry damaged? Are there locker room problems? Are those problems big enough to cost the Warriors a championship this season? And what does this mean for Kevin Durant's free agency? So guys, in today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into all of this drama and decide for ourselves, is this just a small thing that will be forgotten come playoff time, or is it something we'll remember as the downfall of the Golden State Warriors dynasty? So just to set the stage here, we have to keep in mind that both Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson are free agents this summer. Now, Klay has made it absolutely clear that he plans on re-signing with the Warriors and that he wants to be in Golden State for his entire career. As for Kevin Durant, well, when KD was asked about his free agency before the season, Durant responded by saying, "I'm not thinking about none of that shit." Normally, if I were to look at a situation like this, I wouldn't be too surprised, but the main point we want to remember here is that Kevin Durant has already been through this exact situation. In his last season in Oklahoma City, he did the exact same thing. He made no promises to his team, and when free agency came around, he left Oklahoma City and joined the Golden State Warriors. So if I was a member of the Warriors, I could definitely see why there would be some doubts about whether or not Durant is staying. With that said, now that I've set the stage, let's get into the actual game that has caused all of this drama. So again, Durant was mad that Draymond did not pass him the ball, but when looking at the actual play, it's obvious that Draymond really didn't have any choice here. When Draymond rebounds this ball, there's around 5 seconds left and he has all of his momentum headed up the court. Meanwhile, Durant is clapping for the ball under his own basket, and even if Draymond passed it to him immediately, KD would get the ball with around 4.5 seconds left, and you know what that means. He's probably going to have to take around a 35-foot shot with two guys in his face to win the game. Obviously, that's not the ideal game-winning shot you want, and looking even further into this play, Draymond was actually about to pass to Kevin Looney for a wide-open layup or dunk. Obviously, that did not happen, and instead, we have a very angry Kevin Durant. The question for this specific game, though, is why was Kevin Durant so mad? Well, to find the answer to that question, we just have to look at the last 5 minutes of this game. In these last 5 minutes, I would say that Kevin Durant was the main reason that the Warriors would eventually tie the game. As you'll see from here on, the ball was basically in Durant's hands the entire time on offense. So you can see, yes, Klay was on fire and knocking down his shots, but it was Durant who had the ball in his hands and was making the decisions to find his open teammates and tie the game. That's why Durant wanted the ball so badly, that's why he was so angry. With that said, Draymond had no choice here. This is an all-NBA player, this is an NBA champion who's grabbing a rebound and knows he has 5 seconds left to make a play. In the open court, Draymond has made plays like this countless times, and in fact, we do find that this argument did escalate because Durant was treating Draymond like he was a scrub, because when a very mad KD approached Draymond about wanting the ball, Draymond looked him in the face and said, "Who the f are you talking to?" After he said that, multiple sources have said, quote, Green then went on to make it clear he's been making plays for years. He reminded Durant the Warriors were winning before Durant showed up, so he wouldn't stand for Durant talking to him as if he were a scrub. Now, personally, I think that's completely understandable, but the real drama would come after Draymond reminded KD that the Warriors were just fine without him. Because, to put it bluntly, Draymond acted like a child here, as, quote, quote, Green accused Durant of making the whole season about him even though he was going to leave after this season. Green let out his frustrations about how Durant had handled free agency, keeping his options open and keeping the story alive, consuming the Warriors and their season with talk of what Durant will do next. That's the mild version. The original version included Green calling Durant a several times. If you want proof that Draymond did call Durant a well, here's DeMarcus Cousins trying to tell Draymond to lock in, while Draymond appears to be saying he's a bitch. Meanwhile, Durant is clearly shook by the fact that Draymond got so personal so fast, and while Andre Iguodala is trying to calm him down, Durant is just saying, come on, man, I'm trying to win a basketball game. The Warriors would not win this game, and the media jumped onto this story. After the game, Draymond would refuse to talk to the press, but in the locker room, it's been reported that Durant sat there silently, very angry, as the rest of the team, quote, was squabbling over the events that just occurred. The only player that was really trying to calm everyone down was Klay Thompson, who reminded the Warriors that no other team could beat them, they could only beat themselves. Which is probably true, but again, we have the question, is this drama going to roll over for the rest of the year? And to be honest, in my opinion, with no exaggeration at all, I think there is a chance it could. Obviously, Draymond calling Durant out did not come out of nowhere. This has clearly been building up for some time, because even going back to last season, veteran David West was quoted as saying that there was a lot going on behind the scenes that people will be shocked about when it comes out. He then said, quote, y'all got no clue. No clue. That tells you about this team that nothing came out. Now, West would go on to pretend this was a joke to the media, but I'm not buying that at all. Obviously, the Warriors took him aside and said, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? Do your best to fix this problem right now. And now that this Draymond Green, Kevin Durant argument is out in the open, we can take a very educated guess as to what West was talking about. And looking back, KD and Draymond have already had a few fights that were similar to this. For instance, on January 6, 2017, if you remember, KD settled for a long three while Zach Randolph was guarding him, and he missed to win the game. Draymond was not happy about this at all and got into his face, which was the first time we've seen them argue. The second time was on February 5th, where after the Warriors' 13-game win streak was broken by the Kings, again, Draymond and Durant could be seen arguing after the game. When you combine this with the quotes and the events that have occurred after Draymond and Durant's argument took place, this could be a problem. In a press conference that followed the loss to the Clippers, Durant was asked,
have you and Draymond been able to hash anything out?
Nah, just nah. Not exactly encouraging words. Sure, we did have a follow-up question, which was,
do you see that happening anytime soon?
I'm sure it will.
But just putting on my conspiracy hat, or just putting on my realistic thinking hat, honestly, what is Durant supposed to say in this situation? No, me and Draymond are done for good. No, I'm never going to forgive him. Obviously, he's not going to say that, and obviously, no one on the Warriors is going to say anything like that either. That's why I'm taking quotes from other players with a grain of salt. Klay has said,
it will not matter, and this will be in the past like a ponytail.
Side note, that was the most Klay thing I've ever heard. Steve Kerr has said,
you have to get through the adversity, and there are some difficult times, and you get through them.
And Draymond himself has said,
we're not going to crumble off of an argument. We're going to move forward, so.
Which again, sounds great, but I'm not fully buying it. I mean, for one thing, Draymond was suspended for a game because of this incident. A suspension that shocked him. This to me is very telling because it means that one, Draymond himself does not realize exactly what he did by calling Durant out on national television, and two, it also means that the Golden State Warriors management does realize what this means. We already know that Durant is a sensitive guy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that he takes things more personal than other people. So can the Warriors look past this for this season, and can they continue their great season so far and go on to win a championship? Of course they can. They're the Warriors. Cousins hasn't even played yet. They're going to be loaded. But with that in mind, when it comes time for Kevin Durant to make a free agency decision this summer, you better believe that he is going to remember what Draymond Green has said to him. And personally, as a human being, I would not blame him at all for letting these words affect his decision. And to end the video, let's finish up with a few more interesting quotes, such as one from an anonymous player on the Golden State Warriors who was quoted as saying, "With what was said, there is already no way Durant is coming back. The only hope is that they can say this summer, 'See, KD, we've got your back. We protected you from Draymond.'" Right there, again, is the reason that the Warriors suspended Draymond, but the words have already been said, it might already be too late. And finally, Richard Jefferson with the quote to end all quotes.
Do you know what you have to do in order to suspend your own player, your all-NBA player? What was said in the locker room was so bad that all the team and all the coaching staff and everyone decided that, hey, he needs to be suspended. You had to say something pretty outlandish for them to suspend you for a game without pay because of that.
Which wraps up today's video, guys, and I want to know in the comments down below, what do you think about this situation? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think Kevin Durant's going to leave? Please argue all you want down in the comments below. And if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Do NBA videos like this. If you love basketball, I think you'll love this channel. So subscribe and hit the bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting, and as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.